we were in the midst and experiencing a ceiling of complexity in our own business. And you get to this point of how do we grow beyond here? And for us, it was we were running around and we were charging as hard as we could, and we were working 7 days a week, and we had been for several years at that point in time. And we saw no way to get out of that. It felt like we were on a treadmill, or maybe a better analogy is a stationary bike, and we weren't going anywhere. We were pedaling really hard, but felt like we weren't getting anywhere. And I think Stratgic Coach really helped us. First of all, it afforded us the chance at least once a quarter to step away from our business and think bigger picture and get off that treadmill. And secondly, help give us some concepts in thinking through or at least framing the issue of, hey, we're bumping up against the ceiling of complexity here. How do we deal with this? What's the best way to get out of it? In year one, I barely qualified to be in the program, and I think thinking through that ceiling of complexity and investing in people has allowed for our company to take advantage of significant opportunities. We have, over the past 5 years, we've acquired and built 30 different apartment communities. The total size of that portfolio is around $560 million. We've raised approximately $140 million in investor capital over the past 5 years. In year one, our kind of average investment size of what someone was investing in us per transaction was around $1.5 million. And I'd say our average over the past year is closer to probably 12 to 15 million of just equity. So we've been able to, we've grown, but I think we've also been able to grow our transaction size significantly. I would have never thought that I could take 5 weeks away from the office in one single block. And I look at not only what that did for me, but what I had to do to get there. First of all, it forced me to make sure I had the right team around me to support that. So it forced me to think, even a year in advance about finding the right support team and building that team. It forced me to delegate because I actually got into that in the midst of my 5-week stay. And there were certain things I couldn't do. I couldn't meet with people. And I found myself actually asking myself a question: why was I going to have that meeting anyway? So it forced me to be smarter with my time. It forced me to delegate maybe that meeting to someone else that was better suited to begin with to handle that meeting. It afforded me more time with my family. I spent and was much more engaged, spent a lot more time and was much more engaged with my family during that time. I think that sort of is a great, a great example, and really highlights well what all Stratgic Coach has done for me. It helped me work towards creating a self-managing company, a company that functions without me being there day to day. It forced me to hire a really good team. It forced me to delegate. It improved my personal life with spending more time with my family. I think I was healthier because I spent more time outside and exercising. And then one other note on our team, I think our team really appreciated the fact that both me and my business partner trusted them enough that actually my partner was out of the office at the same time during the same period of time. We trusted them. We had confidence in them to handle the day-to-day, and through that empowerment, it forced us to empower them. So that built their confidence as well. And I actually think the organization grew maybe more while we were away than if we had been there. because they didn't have quite as good of access to us. They still had access, but it wasn't quite as good, and it forced them to think rather than maybe just coming to us to ask any little question throughout the day. So to me, that story kind of brings together so many things that Stratgic Coach has done for me over the past 4 years.